Mr. Job.
It's 6:30. You ready?
I'll talk to you about it later.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
It's 6:30. We're going to call this evening's meetings to order. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Freeman? Here. Mrs. Gator?
Here.
Ms. Newman?
Here.
Mr. Roberts?
Here.
Ms. Mitchell?
Here. All are present. Accounted for. I'd like to welcome the folks that are in the audience. We've got Councilman Matt Howard. We've got resident Ms. Crystal Underwood. And we also have our project manager, Doug Myers, is with us today. So I want to say welcome. It's nice to have folks with us. And if we can please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Alrighty. Next on our agenda is item 1.2. If I can please, I'm sorry, 1.3. I can't count. If I can please have a motion to approve the February 22nd, 2023 regular board meeting final agenda.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept item 1.3, the approval of the agenda.
May I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved and properly seconded. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Gator?
Yes.
Mrs. Newman?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. All right, next, if we can have a motion to approve item 1.4, approval of the minutes for the organizational meeting, which was January 11th of 2023, our regular January 23rd, 2023 board meeting, special meeting February 7th, 2023, and our February 8th work session of 2023.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item 1.4, approval of minutes on tonight's agenda for the following means that you just described.
Thank you. May I have a second?
A second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion, board?
No, ma'am.
No.
All right, Dr. Rock, hearing none, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Newman?
Yes.
Mr. Freeman?
Yes.
Mrs. Gator?
Yes.
Mr. Roberts?
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell?
Yes, motion passes 5-0. All right, we're at item 1.5, public participation. Dr. Rock, did we get any public participation cards?
No, we did not.
Mr. Jolly, did we get anything online?
No, ma'am.
All righty. We're going to move right along. We're at board reports. I didn't get anything from any board members regarding any reports for this week. So there were no reports. We'll just put a reminder out there if you're interested in participating in the final roar over Memorial Day weekend for the high school. Please be sure to see all the information on the website. It's also being published on social media. Be sure you buy your tickets because it is going to be a very fun weekend. Yep, I said very.
Well, Madam Chair, can I just add that we're going to have a quick policy meeting with Joe Sigbert this week, tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow. It'll be online,
So
too.
we'll have an update the next meeting.
Okay. Okay. Just remind us and we'll make sure we put the policy update down there. Cool.
What time is that tomorrow?
10:30. It's on Google. It'll be
Thanks.
on Google.
Thank you.
All right, we're moving to item 1.7, superintendent reports. Mr. Jolly.
Yeah, so tonight I want to concede my time to Doug. Doug is going to give an update on the change order. I do want to announce our girls are playing tonight district regional final in Worcester. And also our Black History program is Friday at the elementary school. The Black History program Friday at the elementary school. Friday night.
It's okay.
7 o'clock.
What are we having Saturday? There's something that
Saturday we have Saturday it's a talent show there. It's a Make Us Sci-Fi talent show there.
Okay.
Like at 12 o'clock.
So it's not our students.
It's not it may be one or two of our students in it, but not, I don't know what students. The students that will participate are on the band trip. So I don't know who's going to participate. They're in the band.
Does it cost anything?
No, it's free.
Oh, okay.
Yes, sir. It's at 11 o'clock.
Excuse me, Mr. Jolly. The basketball game going on tonight. Is it the final or the semifinal?
It's the semifinal.
The district semifinal.
If they win today, they play 7 o'clock Saturday night at Worcester High School.
All right, the district final.
So Doug is going to give an update on the change order that's on today's agenda. 2.1.
This is a request for change order approval for mechanical fire separation issue that we have. We had designed the building where per code you have to have fire separation. As we were constructing it, we didn't realize that what was designed, those sequencing of construction, was not going to permit them to build it the way it was designed. So basically, this work includes mechanical work associated with the solution that we're done. So that as we make this change, code compliant, let us say, also there. So we found this, they didn't find it as early as we would have hoped, but when they found it, they were able to collaborate, several different scenarios, try to find the best solution. So this work that they have now, there's mechanical modifications that they have. So we go ahead and fire dampers and go ahead and control the floor there to separate the two buildings. And this work is $80,000, $80,896.39. It will be covered by the override contingency.
Okay.
Last time, the way we managed these changes, we have pending executed, so that we're always tracking that we're below our funded amount.
Okay.
So this was an item that we had at cost identified for. So this is going to be handled within the override contingency. There's no added funds to cover this request.
Doug, I was going to ask, with this was covered within the parameters of the contingency fee, and after this $80,000, what will be the balance left in the contingency fee?
After this, including the ending that we have, as I mentioned, we try to conserve it so that we can see that if there's something coming up, we have cost for it. What we're looking at right now is $215,311.
And that is taking this 80,000 into account. All right. And
also all the they also there's other things that this will like and there's other things that we're working with right now that might have some cost.
listen. All right. 250.
I got a question for him, Madam Chair. Doug, what areas are these in? Do you know what areas, A, B, C, D, or F?
This is actually in A.
Okay.
And the separation was supposed to be either corridor
I
or
remember.
the stage.
I remember.
So this is actually the modification in A.
Auditorium.
Actually, two-story where it goes into the stage.
Okay.
So is that like when you're coming in off of Warrensville Center? That's the area off to the left that is right before you get over to the middle school.
It's actually
It's right on Northfield.
Yeah.
So the auditorium, between the auditorium and the education.
Okay.
So what we had to do is we had to have separation between the stage and the rest of the building.
Okay.
We're going to do it vertically. It's 3-story. We're very cold. So it doesn't need to stay entirely construction. So what they decided was to do the construction horizontally. It required us to make some modifications to the way we were allowed to tear through the building. So these fire dampers actually are going to go directly to the mechanical room that is over the education, the music area.
Okay.
We're trying to take the photograph. Very hard to see, but really well looked out. It was a 3-story space. So,
Okay. Thank you. Are there any other questions?
Then I did add some other slides. I'm gonna go from, then Sean White and I would like to come back.
Mhm.
We have some more time. We can actually give an update. We have a construction manager here that can answer questions, construction questions.
Thank you. So you don't anticipate any increase in cost in the other areas, right? Are you,
Well, we do, but we're managing with it. So I don't anticipate that there's any sleep contingency that's already been.
that's what I need to hear.
Unless there's some major unforeseen issue.
Okay.
As I mentioned before, we have the demolition high school now program now,
Mhm.
instead of just demolition high school.
Okay.
Program, we still have bidding for the demolition for the high school, bidding for the factory, so those are on our name right now, we have estimates. But when those prices come in, we'll know better as to how we do it. But we have funds for that.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
All right.
It's the
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a
Deb.
good evening.
Have a good one.
All right, then we're going to move on to item 1.8, treasurer's report, and hand the agenda over to Dr. Rock.
You can put it up, David, please. So tonight, the update is on our recent audit. We can go to the next slide, please. So every year, the auditor of state audits the district's financial statements and our accounting process. In every 10 years, the auditor of state can assign an independent CPA firm to perform the audit. And what that does is that preserves the same eyes looking at it for a long period of time and putting a new set of eyes. So two years ago, the district was assigned to Julian and Group, so we have independent auditors, and that's what we've had now. This is the second year that we've had Julian and Group, and we have a 5-year contract with them. So that's where we're at right now. The audit process. It starts with local government services, which is a branch of the auditor's office. And what they actually do is they compile the financial statement at the end of the year and move us from cash basis to accrual basis. And this is what we call the gap conversion. And this is usually done between September and October, and it's due November 30th annually. Next slide. So, and then the auditors come in. And what they do is they utilize that gap report, and that becomes the initial audit procedure. That's what they start with. And the audit procedures are uniform in the state of Ohio. In other words, we get the same audit procedures that any other school district in the state of Ohio that we get. And they utilize a compliance manual to perform the audit as instructed by the auditor of state. Next slide. So the audit process and timeline, the auditors, they actually come in, they test our accounts payable, they take a sample, they pull all the records behind that. They look for compliance with our purchase orders process, all of our receipts, the appropriation measures. They look at our payroll. They do a bit substantial testing there and pull all the files and make sure everything adds up. And they do the overall financial operations and accounting, and they also test the federal and state grants, and they confirm all our bank and investments accounts. Next slide. So the results of the audit report will describe the overall conclusions of the audit and list the non-compliance issues. This is the auditor's report. The best report that you could get is called an unmodified opinion. That means that everything in the financial statements looks good and it's a clean audit. We actually received an unmodified opinion, and that's for this past fiscal year, which is June 30th, 2022. We've had an unmodified opinion all of the years I've been here, and I think it was unmodified for a few years before I got here also. So the resulting financial statements then become the audited financial statements and include that audit report. Next slide. At the end of the audit, there's an exit audit meeting, and this is the superintendent, treasurer, and board president, and we meet with the auditors, and they review the audit and the audit opinion, which again, we got an unmodified, clean audit. And then they also list management comments. The management comments are just suggestions by the auditors to strengthen our financial and operational systems. There were two suggestions. The one is that the Auditor of State recommends that we have a records committee meeting every 12 months. And this, at the records committee meeting, is what we actually look at the records retention schedule and make sure that there isn't any adjustments that we need to make to the retention schedule. And then also that the district should seek signed absence forms on a noted payroll group. It was pretty much just the teachers. All the other groups were testing out fine. So Mr. Jolly was going to make some adjustments on that, and myself and Mr. Jolly, we assure the auditors that we will resolve these suggestions. And then the final audit, it'll be released by the end of March to the state of Ohio. After that, it goes to a clearinghouse. That's like a governmental unit that collects all of the audits for all the local governments of state of Ohio. Actually, I even think it's federal, to tell you the truth. And then ultimately, then the state auditor releases the audit. And again, we have a clean audit, unmodified audit report, unmodified opinion, which is good. And then the state auditor releases it, and we all get a 180-page financial statement report. That's the audited financial statements, and then they also release it on their webpage. And then that concludes the session.
Thank you, Dr. Rock. Board, are there any questions for Dr. Rock regarding the audit?
So this is done annually, correct, Dr. Rock?
Oh yeah. The auditors come out
Annually.
every year.
We just got something, I know I did, from the auditors where I guess, was it like the little fraud questionnaire that they have us do?
Yes.
So is that because they're starting the audit for this year?
No, that would have been for this recent audit that they just finished. So they come out after they let you close the year. So it'd be our most current closed year, which would be June 30th, 2022. And then they come out months later and audit it. So that's what that was for.
And then, so then how long after that do they come to the district and give you guys the update? Or go over the audit with you? So this was June 30th.
Yeah.
So this would have been last year that you guys met with them?
No. Again, if you looked on the slides, so June 30th rolls around, we close our books. The gap converters come in, and they come in between September, October, and the gap report is due November. The following November after the June 30th close. And then once that gap report is completed, the auditors will come in. They usually come in around November, December.
Okay.
And this year they came in January.
So the I'm not going to call it a finding, but
so they just recently finished.
So the suggestions that they got, are we just getting those suggestions? Is that or when do we get the report, the actual report?
Now. So
we just got the report.
Yeah, we just got the report.
And the report was through June 30th, 2022.
Yeah, it happens. It's a process. So we close our books by June 30th, and that is about a month process. You know, we do our final appropriations. The board does all of our business. We do temporary appropriations into the new school year. So once that is closed, because remember, our books are based on cash basis. Cash basis is just like a checkbook, cash in, cash out. Okay. Then LGS will come in and they convert our books to accrual basis. Accrual basis of accounting is when you have accounts payables and accounts receivables. Accrual basis is a snapshot of your financial statements saying that if you closed business June 30th, 2022, who would owe you money and who would you owe money? It's a snapshot of where you would be as of that day. And that's what you make, but we don't run on an accrual basis. So LGS comes out and they convert the financial statements. It's called a compilation. Compilation is the lower level of services. We have compilation, of review, and an audit. We have compilation and an audit, okay, and that's required by the state. So you have to compile the financial statements. So that takes a couple months, and that's due by November of that year after the fiscal year end. So that's due by November. So then when they finish the gap converted financial statements. They give that to the auditors, and the auditors come in and they audit from that financial statement. Does
So
that help
when it
explain
says, I'm sorry, I thought you were finished. I didn't cut you off. So when it says final 6/30/22 audit, that is just saying it's the audit for the books that ended June 30th of 2022.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right. So
Sorry.
no, that was just my confusion. I was thinking that they completed the audit back in June of 2022. That's where I was getting
It's
confused.
the audit for those financial statements for the period ending June 30th, 2022.
Okay. And where on the auditor's website do I find a copy of that audit? Do you know?
Oh yeah, it just says audit search. But that's the reason on the last slide, you're not going to see that yet because it's not released yet.
Okay.
It has to go to, it'll be released. If we file with them by the end of March, it has to be filed. Then it goes to the federal clearinghouse, and then they eventually release it. And it's out of our hands when they do the release.
Okay.
And then we just wait for it. We get a notice that it's released, and I tell the board that here's the audit. If you want to, I think I send you a link, or I think sometimes I send a PDF. It's really big. It's like 180 pages.
Okay. So then for this particular one, you guys have already met with the auditors, correct?
Yeah. What we're saying now is the audit's complete. We have an unmodified opinion, but there's still some process for them to file it and finalize it. But we're locked in. It's an unmodified opinion.
But you and the president and Jolly have already met with them, correct?
Yes, that's standard procedure with the state of auditors of Ohio. They ask you if you want an exit meeting or if you don't. We could waive it, but we've always had it because it's a good opportunity for the superintendent and treasurer and a board representative, who's the board president, to meet and get the exit audit. I'm sure you had it when you were board president.
Like I said, we did it different. We did not do it this way. We did it different. So this process that you guys are describing and that you described at the last meeting is pretty new to me. So my only ask
we
then,
did it that way 8 years ago when I started, though, when you were board president.
I don't recall doing that. But that's neither here nor there. So my only ask then, I guess this is for Tracy, is when you guys are meeting, after the meeting, could you give us an update on?
He provides the update here. There's nothing for me to update. He's given the update. This is the update. This is exactly the conversation from the meeting. The only additional to that conversation is what the findings. These two gentlemen will state that I clearly asked them to make sure that we don't have this come on our findings anymore, and they agreed that it will be taken care of. But this is literally what was the gentleman's name?
Adam.
This is exactly what he walked us through.
Okay.
I mean, I don't see that big document. He walks us through a few page letter. Literally, it's a letter with all of this information. Dr. Rock does a really great job synthesizing it down to these slides.
So can we get a copy of the letter then?
Yeah, you will. It's the letter is the report. It's the report that goes. It's the first page of the financial statement. It's page 1 of the 180-page.
That goes to be filed,
but we don't see that yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, but when it gets released, I give it to every board member.
It should be released by June.
Yeah, we get it. It runs a year. It runs a year in arrear.
Okay.
Did I say that? Yeah.
And just to give you some more of the deadlines, so the gap conversions due by November, and if you have independent auditors, they're supposed to be finished by December, but because of the pandemic, they've given them an extra month of January, so that's why they came out in January. If you have state auditors, which we had in the past, the state auditors can come out anytime they want because they jurisdict themselves. So we've had it to where I think one of the years the state auditors released our audit in April for the June of the prior year. But that's the process. And the meeting's about a half an hour. But again, they review that. They go over the different types of reports that you can get. They tell you what your opinion of your report is. And again, those aren't findings. They are actually managerial suggestions.
Right, I'm familiar with those.
Because if it was a finding, then it would be a different kind of audit report. Does that help answer your questions?
For now, yeah. Thank you.
And that concludes my section.
All right, thanks so much, Dr. Rock. Thanks for the conversation. All right, next on the agenda is item 2. If I can please have a motion to approve by consent agenda, item 2.1, new high school, middle school construction change order.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept item 2.1, which is the new high school, middle school construction change order.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Is there any further discussion on this topic? We're all good? All right, hearing none, Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mr. Freeman,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mrs. Moomin,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, motion passes 5-0. All right, we don't have anything in section 3, so we're going to move on to section 4. If I can please have a motion to approve by consent agenda, superintendent's recommendations and presentation for board action classified staff. And that's going to be items 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3.
Madam Chair, I'd like to move item number 4 on tonight's agenda, the superintendent's recommendations and presentation for board action classified staff. Looking for items 4.1 through 4.3.
Thank you. May I have a second?
I second.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there any discussion on this section? Hearing none, Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll?
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mrs. Moomin,
Yes.
Mr. Freeman,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Ms. Mitchell.
Yes, motion passes 5-0. All right. If I can please have a motion to approve by consent agenda, superintendent's recommendation and presentations for personnel and programs. And this is going to be items 5.1 through 5.7.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept as a consent agenda items 5.1 through 5.7.
Thank you. Excuse me, may I have a second?
I second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on this section?
Yeah, there were some questions on Neonet. While we went to Neonet, Dr. Rock can add more context, but basically we've been with LGCA for probably about 20 years. Their staff has recently been depleted. We're not getting good service. Last year we attempted to leave, but we did not get our notice in time.
Oh, okay.
So this time we put it in a year in advance. We went through and looked at different places like Connect, Neonet. The team decided that Neonet was the best. A lot of things that LGCA were doing, they were outsourcing to Connect. Or else did they outsource to?
NCCCO.
NCCCO. That's another A site. So our goal is to have everything in one place, which would be Neonet, which will do all of our EMIS, and be our A site for everything.
Okay.
Dr. Rock, can I add anything?
No, you summarized it perfect.
So this transition will happen this summer. July, the transition will occur. And we should see no change. We'll still use Infinite Campus. All the things that we currently use, we will continue to use the same thing.
But
It's
we
just
won't
that
be.
our A site will change.
But we won't be using Neonet.
No, we won't be using LGCA. Another issue with LGCA is way in Lake County, which is about 45 minutes away. Where this is in Cargo Falls, which is closer, about 20 minutes
Oh,
away.
okay.
So we have closer access to service.
So they're still gonna do training like LGCA used to do. You can go there or
Right.
come to us. What's their record like with EMIS? I mean, I know that EMIS is a big deal.
Right, from what we understand, and Dr. Rock, a lot of the districts around here have went to Neonet, such as Cleveland Heights.
Yeah, I saw that.
All of these districts have went there.
Okay.
So I guess they're just starting. It's like a startup. So we're gonna go and see. It's closer. You know, a lot of the districts that we partner with have went that direction, and their presentation and what services they offer was the best out of the ones we saw. LGCA again has outsourced a lot. There was a long period of time when you couldn't even get anybody, couldn't get anybody trained. A lot of the workers went to go work for Connect, so they were getting outsourced to the ESC. So the ESC who run, someone has a connection with Connect, we're getting the same workers. Since we do have that relationship with the ESC, we were still getting that support from the ESC. So,
And LGCA tried the best that they could, but I have to be frank with you. Some of the support that we were getting was someone from Arizona,
Oh, wow.
a retired treasurer though that knows school finance and everything, but still he's in Arizona. And then a lot of the support we were getting from Mansfield, site Mansfield, which is their superior. They're actually joined. They are combining with NeoNet 2 down the line. And the other part with NeoNet that is really, I think, vital for us is that Mr. Jolly is actually on the by being a superintendent as we join as a member, Mr. Jolly is on the board with the other superintendents of all the members of the A site. Okay. And Mr. Jolly is able to vote on how the fees are structured. So we would be in the know on everything as a participating partner, not as a client. So I think that's like the paramount structure. We said we were with LGCA for, Mr. Jolly's been here 9 years, I've been here 8, and they've never invited us out to be that type of a partner in decision. We just got price lists from them. So the structure, I think, will bode very well for the district.
Okay.
so also I'll talk 5-1 and 5-2. 5-1 was a donation from Aldersgate Church. The church, as you know, we hosted Mrs. Dean's dinner after her funeral, and those expenses, that money was used to pay for those expenses. Heart to Heart. Heart to Heart is.
Mr. Jones,
Yes, sir.
I'm not familiar with the acronym for 5.2.
PNC. That's Doug's company.
Oh, okay.
That's Doug's company. Yeah.
All right.
5.3 is Heart to Heart. Heart to Heart is a partner that provides mental health and behavioral health care services. Or they provide the board of payments we've made up to today. We started this in about 2018, putting a pool of money to pay for mental health services for students who did not have insurance. I did check on how we verify insurance, and it is by parents'
Honor system.
honor system. Is not a process where we verify if they have it or not. So it is an honor system.
Okay.
We use our health and wellness fund to pay for that. And again, it's a added resource that the district is using, and I appreciate the district affording that opportunity for students who need mental health services to get it, because without insurance they would not receive it. This company does, and all these type of companies pay off billing of insurance. So if a family doesn't have insurance, they won't get the service. 5-5 is for recreation wrestling. The Mad Cats were restarted. 2 alumni to start. What's his say his real name? I don't know. Taku Jones and Michael Robinson started this program with 15 kids who are enrolled in the program at this time. 5.6 is the Greater Cleveland Consortium District Partnership Agreement, which is enclosed. We'll be working. We're in the first quarter of a group that will connect career and tech opportunities for our students in grades 6 to 12. So this mechanism, this group, has the connections with businesses, which is an asset to us, and they will connect us with businesses, provide us with curriculum and different things to expose our students in 6 to 12. We do a lot of it now. We're having a connection across Northeast Ohio is a greater reach for the district, and also again provide our kids more opportunities for success. And then 5.7 is the Westwood auction. The district does receive 65% of the proceeds. 35% goes to the auctioneer. Also, last night the agreement was approved that the city will take possession over Westwood as of last night, pending the title transfer, which will happen over the next 30 days. They won't transfer until the building is torn down. The process of tearing the building down will start in March, first week in March. They have to do a 10-day notice, for the EPA for asbestos. So they're starting that process of the 10-day notice now. We have a construction meeting tomorrow, and I will update you after that meeting on their process. So that's section 5. Any questions?
No, thank you very much. I know I had a couple of questions on this, so I appreciate you getting back to me. Appreciate it.
All right, that's it.
That's it. All right then. We don't have any unfinished business. We have no new business.
We gotta vote.
Oh, you know what? I'm really
Yeah, we do gotta
fast.
vote.
I'm so sorry. Dr. Rock, can you please call the roll? I guess we're trying to get to this basketball game.
Mrs. Newman,
Yes.
Mr. Freeman,
Yes.
Mrs. Gator,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts,
Yes.
Miss Mitchell.
Yes, motion passes 5-0. I am so very sorry, board. Now,
Moving fast.
I know, right? We don't have any unfinished business. There's no new business. Dr. Rock, do we have any correspondence?
No, we do not.
There's no correspondence. Mr. Jolly, you gave the announcements earlier. Maybe one more time we should tell where the girls are playing tonight.
Yeah, the girls are playing at Worcester High School, 8 o'clock. Game time is about to start.
Okay. So anyone?
I forgot, culinary is in competition at Tri-C on Saturday. What time is that, David? 8 to 3. It's at
Downtown or
Tri-C.
east, David?
Downtown.
Downtown.
Downtown. It's in like public square.
It's at the restaurant down there.
And you could actually go in there. I went last year.
Yeah.
You could look in the window and see the kids cooking.
Yeah, the food is really
So
good.
I know we have a senior that would be cooking. Her name is escaping me. She's Autumn Tate will be cooking. Yeah, Autumn Tate.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's outstanding.
Remember the young man and his father that were at the meeting last night? So just see, young man's name is Jeremiah. That always comes with his dad. So
Yeah.
they're going to be participating in a competition tomorrow. What did they say it was? Aces or
Yes, like Ace. It said
It's Aces at the Huntington.
Ace
At the
Accelerator or
Huntington.
something like that?
it's like a entrepreneur pitch contest
Yeah.
tomorrow.
So he and his son are going to be participating in that tomorrow at Huntington, the Huntington Convention.
Huntington
Center.
Convention.
That was Dante and Jeremiah Jones.
Yeah.
That's correct.
That was Mr. Merritt's
Correct.
nephew.
So they came to the
Great
council
nephew.
meeting last night and
Okay.
announced that they were doing it. And asked people to kind of come out and support
That's
them.
awesome.
And there is a cost for it, but we all wish them luck.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
So I'm sure they'll be in to the meeting soon and let us know how it went.
Also,
That's a
Madam
great-
Chair, you probably already know, but the Urban Boards Alliance, we set a seminar. The seminar will go every 3 months. Our first seminar is March 8th. It'll be for a little under an hour, and it's just talking about different topics. So we started that under the Urban Boards Alliance, but it's March 8th. If you don't have it, I'll send it.
Yeah, we got the email I think yesterday.
Okay.
Yesterday or today. Yeah. Lots of great things going on in the district. It's good to see us doing so many powerful, positive things. What was this? That was for Heart to Heart.
Oh,
That was one of the questions that Board Member Gator had, and Mr. Jolly provided us with the data to support.
Oh, okay.
My question was, how do we know that 150,000 is what we
Oh, okay.
Alrighty, well, since there's no additional business, I would ask someone to please make a motion to please adjourn the February 22nd, 2023 regular meeting.
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn this meeting.
Thank you. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Our meeting is adjourned. Have a good
Guys heading
evening.
out to the